Hey, DeShone, Brandon Wimbush is in kind of a different situation, playing as a true freshman, redshirting as a sophomore. What have you seen him kind of gain out of that experience this year?
Yeah, Brandon and I talked at the beginning of the season about his mindset going into the season, knowing that there's a good chance he's going to be redshirted, and I think he stayed true to what we talked about then, and that was just to take this as an opportunity to learn as much as you can. I think it's really unique to go out and get thrown into the fire, see what it feels like to play in front of 80,000, and then come back and evaluate that, and then also look from the outside in on our situation here to best prepare him. I think that this year is going to be very valuable for him, and when he is called back out to perform for us, he's going to be one heck of a player one day. We all kind of know his arm talent is Power 5 ready to be a starter, and when his name is called, I'm very certain that through this year off of really learning the ins and outs of what we like to do here on offense, that he'll be ready to go.
Your own experience redshirting, obviously you're not in his head, but how do you think your freshman year experience redshirting maybe compares to what he's going through right now?
I think it's very similar in the sense that in my freshman year, I watched a great competition between Everett and Malik, two great quarterbacks who were challenging each other each day, and I was able to learn from the dynamic of that competition. I think he's doing the same thing as Malik and I continue to compete each day. Obviously it's a little different because he was able to have the on-field experience that I got. Not until my sophomore year he was able to go through that already, but now he's in a position where he knows that he can make the throws he needs to make, so he has the confidence rather than having a question mark on whether or not he can carry over his high school success like I had at the time. So with the confidence that he has, knowing that he can make those throws along with learning from our competition, I think it's the best bet for him.
I think you've mentioned over the last 2 years working on throwing mechanics, working on your base, trying not to throw dirt balls and that kind of stuff. Is he almost does he have less to work on there, like throwing mechanics wise, than maybe you've had?
Yeah, he rips the ball. He definitely throws one of the best balls on the team for sure. As far as mechanics, we don't I don't see enough reps with him in game to completely be able to critique that, and nor am I in a position to critique his throwing style. We'll see what it looks like when his time comes to come back out and compete to play here. Next offseason we'll be able to really gauge ourselves, and I look forward to competing with him whenever that time does come.
I'm not asking you to reveal what you're going to decide after the season, but if you do come back, what would the competition of you versus him be like?
I think there's going to be three guys here who all have the ability to throw the ball. With the best of them, there's going to be three guys who have had the experience in game, and that competition is going to be very interesting. I don't know if anyone's ever had a situation where there's three guys as qualified as we are to go out and compete to start. I think that with my experiences playing the last 2 years, that I'll have the ability to look back on some in-game stuff that they really haven't. But at the same time, as far as throwing the ball and understanding where we are, there's going to be three true veterans who know what Notre Dame football looks like. So the competition is going to be great. Brandon has a really live arm. Malik, we know, is a very good quarterback, and then with me and my experience, it's going to be a very interesting offseason.
Thanks.
DeShone just being bounce back mode again this week. What's the mindset of the locker room?
We learned quite a bit with last week. We definitely learned how to value a possession on the offensive side of the ball. 6 possessions, 1 punt, and a couple field goals. And you would think that, and that would be enough in the sense of putting up as many points as we need to. But obviously, playing in that game, we learned that when we're down in the red zone, it needs to end in 7 rather than 3. And when you have an opportunity to take shots, you got to be successful with them because your possessions are limited when you're playing against a triple option team. And I think that is something that we're going to be able to build off of going into the Army, having the understanding of how important a possession is. And I think we're ready to go. This team is very unique in a sense that no matter what the outcome of the game before, we're able to come back and really push ourselves and compete and have the positive mindset needed to go out and win games. Like I said, consistently since that Duke game, there's been a different vibe on this team, and I think that vibe will maintain and continue to lead us forward in learning and these losses and the few wins that we have on how to prepare ourselves to win more games.
What's that like as a quarterback to only have 6 possessions in a game?
It's rough. You don't even notice it. I mean, in the possessions that we have, we're so long. I mean, I think 5 of them are 10-plus plays. So with that, it was definitely a different feeling to be on the sideline as long as you are. You got to rewarm your arm back up every time you go back out there. But once again, now looking back at it, I'll be able to learn how to truly value those opportunities that we do have, because they're limited when you play against a triple option team. Last year, we talked about it. We tried to prepare ourselves mentally, but we were still able to go out and run 70-plus plays and have kind of a typical game on offense. This past year, we talked about it. I kind of left it behind in the sense that I thought we were going to be able to get the plays that we needed to get. And, it came back and hurt us at the end when we didn't have the opportunity to go down and score a couple more points and a couple more drives.
Is it more difficult losing by 1 possession each time than if a couple of these games were blowouts that, the fatigue maybe wouldn't be there as much?
Losing's losing, no matter how it comes. 1 point, 100 points. I absolutely hate losing, and to experience the 1 possession losses definitely eats you up a little more, because you can put a little more emphasis on those last drives when the ball is in your hands and you have an opportunity to score. It definitely eats you up a little more in that sense. But as a competitor, no matter how I lose, I'm going to hate it. I'd rather, to answer your question, I think I'd rather have the ball in my hand and have an opportunity to go win a game than to get blown out. I mean, obviously it does kind of wear down on you to be as close as we are consistently, but I'd definitely rather have the opportunity to go down and put the game on the line with 1 possession, because I know that I have the confidence that when the ball is in my hand that we will have the opportunity to score, and we will score to win games. Obviously it hasn't been as successful as we wanted to this year, but I still have, once again, the confidence that if it is the 4th quarter and the game's on the line, that if the ball's in my hand, we're going to score a touchdown and win a game.
Knowing the Army runs the same type of offense and has the ability to eat up the clock like Navy does that put pressure on you this week to, speed up or try to score faster so that you can get more possessions?
No, you got to take what the defense gives you. As similar as Army and Navy are on offense, they're completely different on defense. Army is very good at what they do in the sense that they're changing their looks consistently. They're blitzing from all over the place. They're 3 down, they're 4 down. They're 2 high, they're 1 high, they're all over the place. So you have to be able to make sure you take what the defense is giving you. Against Navy, you can consistently get a few looks where you knew that when it was time to take a shot, it's time to take a shot, and you can kind of just feel the ups and downs of the game. But against Army, I think it's important that we maintain the patience needed to take what Army's given us. When there's opportunities to take shots, we got to take them, and that might be a 4th read on a play, rather than looking ahead into the drives and knowing when the time is to take a shot. You have to know that within that one play that this might be the only look that we get to throw a post over the top, so that's the time to take it. Once again, Army is very good at throwing a bunch of different looks at you, so you got to just lock in on the opportunities that they give us.
DeShone, you've thrown to Durham Smythe in the red zone the last couple of games. I'm just wondering, what's your trust level like with him, and how has that rapport kind of grown throughout the season?
Yeah, that last year we didn't target the tight ends much in the red zone, and this year we put an emphasis on, getting to our veterans guys when we're down there. Durham is a guy where when I throw the ball his way, it's in my mind every time it's a catch. So if the defense is going to give us opportunity to put a linebacker and a guy who's been here for as many years as he has and has the experience that he has, it's my job to make sure that the ball gets to him. There's some design plays to the tight end that we were able to get to, such as like that little leak out against Navy, and there's going to be some opportunities again this week to try to take advantage of some matchup problems that might come with a linebacker being on a tight end like Durham. Our rapport is definitely growing, and my trust in him is through the roof. So anytime we're down there, if there's an opportunity to put the ball near him with his size and his experience, I'm going to definitely throw the ball his way.
Thanks.
DeShone, I just wanted to see if you could kind of expand. You just said that the vibe has been different since the Duke game. I know kind of just obvious, at least from the defensive side, but just if you could expand on that.
Yeah, we as a team really looked ourselves in the mirror after that Duke game. We obviously a tough loss against Texas, tough loss against Michigan State. We still had the mindset of we're one of the better teams in the country. And then we go out and take a tough loss against Duke, and that was an opportunity for us to really see who we are and how to go about the rest of the season. And the answer to that was to have a new level of energy, a new level of optimism to truly appreciate each win, each rep. And that's what kind of has driven us in practice now. I mean, we got guys flying around no matter what our record looks like. Every practice is a great opportunity for us to be a Notre Dame athlete, and I think that you can feel that when you're out there. We are a group of winners, even though our record doesn't show it, and we know that we believe in ourselves, and we're truly having a good time playing this game. Obviously, we would love for our record to be different, and we would love to be in a position to achieve the goals that we set out for at the beginning of the season. But instead, we're not there, and we've had to change our mindset elsewhere. And I think that we found that after the Duke game that the best way to go about practice is to continue to compete and to show the drive needed to potentially go out and win games. If you allow this season to dawn down on you and weigh you down, I think that it becomes a lot more difficult than it is now. I think that we have the mentality and the drive to go out each week and to treat it for the one game season that it is and try to get a victory through an optimistic mindset and a new level of energy.
DeShone, I asked you about this after the game. It's kind of ex-Illinois question, but the miss to Torrey in the end zone, as you went back and watched the film, what did that look like? Where did that need to be a little bit better? It's kind of one of those just small things that proved to be a big thing.
Once again, it's a throw that you don't really practice. It's not necessarily a specific read that I made to expect something out of Torrey. It was more of an aggressive back shoulder throw that I wanted to make. That I'm hoping to connect with him on a level that isn't necessarily what a practice look looks like. The ball was a little high and outside. I think that if that ball was more of a level one ball and right at the back of his helmet, he was able to make that adjustment. But at that time and place, I was throwing the ball downfield a little more. A little bit of a miscommunication with him breaking it at a lower angle, which I would expect him to do by the design of the play. I mean, I easily could have dropped it down to a hitch route outside with the corner bailing, but I decided to take a shot in the end zone and try to throw a back shoulder ball. Once again, he took a lower angle, which we have told him to do 1,000 times. So I can't put the blame on anyone but myself. Just trying to get aggressive and score some points down in the red zone.
It's he's running the route as designed, and you're throwing the route as the coverage is played.
Exactly. I think that's a valid explanation. They borrowed a safety to take away the inside route to a running back running down the middle of the field, and I wanted to replace that safety by throwing a back shoulder ball. Once again, miscommunication a little bit in terms of where I wanted him to be and where he actually was.
What do you sort of learn about yourself as a quarterback during the season?
Last year I was able to be a part of a very successful team, a very successful season. Get thrown into the fire. Bring us back in some fourth quarter games. Be a part of a couple blowouts, be a part of a couple close games, and those experiences led me into a very good off season, and to have the confidence needed to go out and start another season here. And now we're here, and those experiences definitely helped me out in these fourth quarter times. But I think that this season, the most important thing that I've taken from it so far is the ability to appreciate, the rep to rep success. When you're playing with a bunch of veteran guys last year, it's almost expected for us to have the success that we had in those fourth quarters. And this year really showed me that with the younger rapport that we have at the skill positions, that each time you get an opportunity to step out there is a new opportunity for you to, represent yourself and to show the developments that you've made throughout your career here and throughout the games that you're stringing together. And I think that through the losses, I've learned that it really, in order to be an elite quarterback at the college level, you have to understand and appreciate the success that you do have when you do have it, because it can be taken away quickly with a couple aggressive throws, a couple bad checks, a couple balls that end up in the dirt. And for me, I think that I've definitely learned that so far this season, and I definitely have a new appreciation for the opportunity that I have to step out and represent Notre Dame.
You referenced in the question about Brandon and next year and all that. Are you coming back?
At this point, I'm so focused in on doing whatever I can to get us to a position to be bowl eligible. I haven't really put the time and thought needed to make a decision. I know that there will be an opportunity for me to play at the next level, whether or not it'd be first round, second round, third round. We have no idea. I haven't informed myself enough to make a good decision. Right now, I'm just focused on how I can better myself and what it takes for me to win games here. Obviously, that next level is something completely different, and I don't know where I'd fit in that environment. I just know that right now I fit in this environment pretty well, and I got to do whatever it takes to get a win against Army.
Does what happened this season and the successes and failures that you've had, will that inform the decision?
Once again, I haven't talked to my parents enough to really evaluate that. I'd say that I wouldn't even accept this question if we were 9-0 and preparing for a national championship. So I think that is one part of it. But at the same time, it's an experience that I'll definitely look back on later down the road that will definitely help me out and teach me, truly how to appreciate the ones that we get. Whatever comes next year, but for now, I'm just really focused in on whatever it takes to beat Army.